Hey everybody, welcome to the 33rd episode of the Let's Talk Wiki podcast. This episode was recorded in November of 2015. It's our last Cosplayer episode from that year. We want to give a special thank you to everyone for sticking with us through our semi-hiatus of new content this year. So without further ado, we'll move right along to this episode. So MintyKid, please take it away.
Welcome everybody, and I'm half asleep, but I'm waking up right now. But welcome to Let's Talk Weekly podcast. And this week's episode, we have some wonderful guests, of course. Our wonderful cosplaying guests, right, Chancellor D?
Yes, ma'am.
We have Kamikaze Miko. Say hello, Kamikaze.
Hello, everyone.
And we're talking about some really great subjects today, talking a little bit about Kamikaze, no, bumbling, whatever. But I understand Kamikaze Miko and her wonderful cosplays, and one of her passions that she's advocating is cosplaying, bullying, and the end of that. But of course, you have to listen to find out more, duh. So listen, and don't you guys agree?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, so don't stop playing. Don't press pause and cue the music.
Don't stop. Welcome to the Let's Talk Weekly podcast. Recently, I ran to you on the new Facebook group called Full Spectrum Cosplay, and I saw your post last week, and by the time this is posted, it would be weeks later. But I saw that you said many things about your work in cosplay, and doing panels on cosplay bullying and everything. But we're gonna get through all that, but I just want to just kind of start at the beginning of who you are. What is your origin story?
Well, my origin story starts back in Anime Boston of 2006. I was always into video games, anime, different kinds of cultures and things like that. And then I've never been to a convention before. So my first convention journey was there, and I saw people dressed up, and I was like, oh my God. People are dressed up as characters. I took so many pictures of different people. And at the time, I was about 6 months pregnant. So I did the convention. I was really amazed. I said, oh, I want to do this one day. Well, I didn't do it one day because life happens, and I had my baby. I was working. I wanted to get school out the way and things like that. So once I did all that, about 4 to 5 years later, I finally decided to get into cosplay, and my first character was Lana Kane from Archer. So it was a pretty simple cosplay, but turtleneck sweater dress, harnesses, things like that, put it together, done. And I went to an anime convention thinking that no one would know who I am, but lo and behold, I had so mmany people run up to me saying, oh my God, you're Lana from Archer, can I get a picture with you? And my boyfriend was there, and he was like kind of taken back too, and so was I. And I was just an experience, and ever since then I got into cosplay. I've been making some of my things. I've been working on anti-bullying panels and things about the community panels and stuff like that. So I'm trying to get more and more community based as a cosplayer.
I think you should never have been surprised about you cosplaying from Archer, because I know my brother and a lot of people are really into Archer, but that's really cool. I would like to see pictures of that, though, if it can.
I can bring that up for you in a minute. Yeah, I can do that right now, actually.
So, do you mind telling us a little bit about yourself? Like where are you from? I looked up one of your profiles Animore. Am I pronouncing the convention right? Is it?
Yes.
That I noticed that you are a East Coast cosplayer, and like I'm in North Carolina. MintyKid's in Florida. It's like I think we all share the East Coast vibe.
Yeah, I'm from Maryland. I was basically born and raised in Washington D.C. Um, I've always been I've always been an East. I guess you could say I've always been more of a East Coast person. I work in entertainment now. I worked at Six Flags, and now I work at the Marriott Hotel, one of the Marriott hotels in the area, with entertainment. So that's basically what I do. I am a mother of one. Who now he wants to get into cosplaying, but I am a mother of one, and I currently live in the PG County area of Maryland.
Oh, I know that area. I know the DMV area. Yes.
Yes, yeah, DMV area.
Yes. I didn't learn like that phrase until I was in college, and everybody could call it DMV, and I'm like, are y'all talking about the driving place? Like, no, DC, Maryland, Virginia. Like, okay, I get it.
Yeah, I used to think that as well, and I was like, I live here, and I used to think that because that's the first thing that pops into everyone's mind. But it's completely understandable. So,
what are some things that you enjoy doing, like outside of cosplay?
I mostly try. Let's see here. Besides painting, I do a lot of other stuff. I used to play piano. I still do at times. I'm working on my voice acting. I do voice acting on the side for little small projects in the area mostly, but like for commercials and things like that. Or I'm trying to get more into doing bigger things, but I'm going to have to build my resume and things like that with voice acting. As I said, I do entertainment, so I work with a lot of children as a character. I basically they give me a personality, especially around the Halloween season, and I act it out to the fullest. I've done plays. I've done a couple plays in the area, and was in the background of me and my son actually was in the background of one of the Marvel movies. So it was. I like basically stick to stuff that work in entertainment because it's like a dream for me.
Sorry, I'm just really looking at this. Is a really great job, by the way, for your cosplay for Lana.
Yeah, that was my very first cosplay. I really was proud of it because I didn't know the first thing about cosplay at all, and I was just like, so how do I do this? It's like I just Google like crazy. I
hear that you mentioned about your voice acting. Like, what kind of projects specifically have you done?
I do mostly commercials. They need a voice. They need like a woman's voice. Basically, I do a chipper voice and things like that. I will lend my voice for a fee, of course, for a commercial in the area. It's not something like a big commercial. It's just like a little small business or things like that. I hope to get more and more comfortable with it so that I can get better at it and do more mainstream voice acting. But yeah, that's basically what I do for now as like a side thing other than my job.
Would you be interested in venturing out into like more of the like television shows, like cartoons and anime, or in video games?
Oh, most definitely. I would love that. Like I have a lot of people I look up to, honestly, in the business, and I really would love to do what they do. It's not an easy task. It's a very uphill battle, and voice acting is very competitive. Like, there's no doubt about it. If they will take, if it was down to me and someone like Tara Strong, they're going to take Tara Strong over me in a heartbeat. But it's all about dedication, work, and things like that. And I know, you just have to put a lot into it. You have to put a lot into it. Currently, right now, I would love to do it, but I want to get settled with everything in my life and then see if I can venture up that ladder of success.
Right, I understand. Because have you Like, have you listened to the podcast called Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson by chance?
No, I haven't actually. What's that one about?
Rob Paulson, like he has this podcast where he brings on like voice actors from video games, cartoons, and different shows, and they just talk about their careers, and sometimes it's writers, but it's usually people, I guess, talking about themselves and offering advice and just kind of telling their story. So I think it might be something I think you might be interested in checking out. And like he gives like good advice to aspiring voice talent. And I just know the like one thing I've heard him say, like, you know, you can be where you are, but you should go to the West Coast. But I do want to ask, like, as someone that's working in the industry, do you agree with that, or do you think you can kind of stay where you are and just kind of submit stuff like over the internet?
Um, yes, I would say I agree with that. Most big voice actors and actresses do live in the West Coast. It's very, like, New York, I think, has a small percentage of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the second biggest one compared to the West Coast of California would probably be between Texas and up in Canada, Toronto, in the Toronto area. But yeah, I think that most definitely is a big factor in getting big voice work compared to, you know, little things. But there's some companies over here and studios over here that you can possibly get voice work with, like Bethesda, that's in Bethesda, Maryland, and there's a bunch of gaming companies and animations in Virginia and things like that. So it's not necessarily no sources over here. It's just it's not as much sources over here, I would say.
Right. Understandable. Well, I do wish you luck with your journey into that.
Thank you.
Thank you. I would love to hear you in one of those animes that they somehow get the rights to one day, because they keep getting the rights. Like, okay.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of be like, listen, like, wait, we know that voice. No. That's right.
Yeah, it's always the guest the voice thing.
That's right. There's a documentary called I Know That Voice. I would recommend that too. I think it's on Netflix. Yeah.
I actually watched that. Yeah, I actually watched that on Netflix. I really, really liked that. And it was actually pretty good. Me and my boyfriend watched it and we enjoyed it. So he was like, "Oh, so that's what it's like." I was like, "Yeah, it's pretty rough, isn't it?"
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a really good documentary. But it's really inspiring, honestly.
We're talking about your family, because I see that your son is getting into cosplaying too. Besides just, it's like, is your boyfriend supportive with it? Is your family supportive with you? Especially you're growing with popularity and fans are looking at you saying, "Hey, oh my God, it's Kamikaze." You know, how they feel about you doing cosplaying?
My mom is very accepting of it. She loves. At first, she didn't understand it because she was like, "You're dressing up in costume and doing what?" But it was one of those kind of things. My family is actually very supportive of it. They didn't know I was doing it for a very long time. I didn't know how to approach them with it because it was like, how do you approach your family with, you know, you dress up in costume and things like that? And then they saw what I was dressing up as. They were like, "Oh my God, that's so beautiful." And they would they shared it all over Facebook and things like that. So it was pretty awesome. And my mom, every time I'm in a competition, my mom like, "Oh, my daughter's in the competition. She's in this, please vote for her," and stuff like that. And it's just like, it's great to have my family behind it. My dad being a theater major and he was in ballet, he understands it as well. And my boyfriend, he's actually one of the most supportive people of me because he helps me a lot with my cosplay due to a medical condition that I have. So he will paint sometimes. He will help assemble some props. So I have a very supportive family. Honestly, I couldn't ask for more.
Yeah, I totally understand, because when I first started dressing up, my parents were like, "What is that? I don't get it." Especially my parents are from the island, so of course they're definitely like, "What is this thing of dressing up? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me." But as the more I do it, the same thing, like my mom, she shares her stuff on Facebook, like, "Oh, look at my she looks so nice dressed like this, and so it's a slow process for them getting used to me doing this. Where it's like if I come to them like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, they're like, oh, yeah, okay, I understand, whatever type thing. But they're slowly starting to accept me and doing the whole dressing up and cosplaying.
And that's always good to have a support system because I've seen so many stories of like, I get a lot, like I say, I help with anti-bullying. So I always say my mailbox is always open, and I get so many stories about young women or men trying to get into the cosplay, but their parents are accepting of it. And I remember one story in particular. She was basically, I don't want to say her name just to, because it was private and anonymous. I'm not going to say her name. She was in a situation where she found out that she was gay because she preferred dressing up as male characters over dressing up as female characters. And she didn't know how to present it to her parents. And I gave her advice. And because I think her parents were starting to catch on. Well, she really felt that they were starting to catch on. So I said, well, you have to be honest with them because you don't want them to keep snooping because that's how parents are. Trust me, being a mom, you don't want to keep snooping, want them to snoop around, like wondering this, that, and the other, and all this stuff. You just want to come up straight and be honest with them. And she said she told me about a week later that I told them about my cosplaying and the reason why I dress up as a boy, and they were very accepting of it. At first it was hard, and she was saying how they kind of had the argument at first, but then her mother came in and talked to her. So her mother accepted the cosplay part, but she's more accepting of her coming out the closet part. But it's one of those things where you see a lot of people go through hardships because they love this hobby so much, but their family thinks it's weird. Their family hears all kind of rumors. Like there's a meme going around saying, "This is what I do." You know the meme has like the 6 blocks and it says, "This is what I do. This is what my family does. This is what my friends do. This is what I actually do." That meme that goes out, and it's like so many misconceptions that people get of cosplay. They think certain particular things happen at night and things like that. So, I mean, not everyone is accepting. I feel blessed I'm accepted, but I feel bad for those who aren't.
Yeah, I totally understand that because, especially, I used to get picked on about it, but I started to grow immune to it because I'm starting to stray myself from that negative energy and then embrace the ones who do appreciate it. And eventually those who are negative starts to see like, hey, it's not that bad. And then they finally understand it and want to be like, know more about it. So I wanted to know, how did you get into the cosplaying world? Tell us more about your origin story of your name and more about your cosplay page.
My name was basically a clan name from a clan called PMS, and it was like big Halo clan, blah blah blah. Back in the day, when I really was addicted to Halo before my son was born, and I just picked a random generator, and I got Kamikaze Miko, which means in Japanese, I think the translation, I could be terribly wrong about this, but it's the Divine Wind Maiden. So it kind of makes sense because I would be the sniper of the team, so I would be like moving from place to place and getting in spots and stuff like that. So it kind of made sense in my name. But other than that, people recognize me for a cosplay, particularly from League of Legends, of Karma. That's how I got really into the scene. Karma is a champion from Ionia, and she's a very elegant leader of her people. She's a beautiful woman of color, and I was instantly attracted to her. Like when I was first playing the game, I instantly was drawn to her, not because of her skin color, but for her outfit. Her outfit is very, very complicated looking. It's a what's the term? Monochrome, half black, half white, little silverish kind of thing going on. And only a reason why I picked it is because I'm colorblind. So being colorblind, you have difficulty seeing. I can see in mostly reds and unfortunately I can't see for other colors. So when I saw the outfit, I was instantly attracted to the colors and things like that because it wasn't a color. So once I did that cosplay, which is on Otakon, and I was very nervous because it was a big cosplay. It was a champion that is rarely seen because she's hardly played. And I played her. I am actually very good with Karma. Not to toot my own horn, but she's just basically this very complicated, very hard champion to play. At least back when League had her before her rework. So I did the cosplay at Otakon. I think it was like Otakon 2012-ish, 2012, 2011. And it was a hit. And then all of a sudden my picture was on League of Legends pages and it was spread around. It spread like wildfire by accident. And I've never taken a professional photo shoot. I did one with my first one was with a photographer known today as Ash B.
Okay.
And this is when she was first starting out. She was doing free photo shoots and things like that. She's a very nice girl, very talented. Definitely look her up. And so she did the photo shoot. I put it up on my page. It went fast. I went from I started the page up. I went from having 10 fans to 1,500 in a week. All because they like the same champion. It was spread on a bunch of league websites. I had a bunch of people saying that, oh, your Karma's great. You look just like her. I love it, blah, blah, blah. And it was one of those things. It's okay, I can do this. I like this. I like people liking this. I'm more of a cosplayer to if you like the same fandom I like, we can I can geek out as much as you can. I don't feel awkward that I like the same fandom or I like the same character because Karma's not really a fan favorite. It's more like Jinx or Miss Katarina or things like that. But it's it was people that actually love Karma just as much as I did, which is very hard because she's such a non-played character. She has at the time she had a 3% play in the game. So it was very awesome to have people to love the character that I love just as much and come up to me and say, yeah, I'm glad you did this. You're great for doing this. But that's basically how I really got into the scene. The Lana thing was basically me dipping my feet into the water. Karma was me going completely underwater. So.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
Because there's one thing I know. Oh, go ahead.
No, go on.
Because one thing I noticed when I read your profile for the convention, I saw that Riot Games got wind of your cosplay. So how long was it before they got in touch with you about representing them?
Oh, well, it wasn't really a representation. It was more of a recognition. There's this thing called the Summoner Showdown, which is a celebration of people who are in the League of Legends community, and they show them to millions and millions of fans in a great way. I did this photo shoot with a group called Elite Cosplay. It was basically the last time I wore this Karma because the fabric was tearing, the fans were starting to break apart and things like that. So I said, you know what, I'll wear her one last time. That was Capticon. I think that was Capticon. Yeah, that was Capticon 2012. It was Capticon 2012. I wore her first in Otakon 2011. So I did the picture. The pictures came out phenomenal, of course. And next thing I know, about, I think 3 months later, I'm waking up to a bunch of people. My inbox was flooded saying, Tiffany, you're on the Summoner Showcase. You're in the new Summoner Showcase. It was Tiffany, you're on the Summoner Showcase. And this was before Karma had her rework. It was a little bit after actually Karma had her rework. So they completely changed her look. And they were a nod to a classic. And to see my Karma up there for millions to see, and the positive positive response that I got. I mean, when I logged online my account, I got so many friend requests because they say your summoner's name. They legit put your summoner's name out there, which is Kamikaze Miko, and it was just like I go online, and that's when I first found out something was going on. I thought someone may have hacked my account. And I'm like, why am I getting so many friend requests all of a sudden to play with me? And then like a couple of people from the community is like, Tiffany, you're Riot famous now. It's like, what are you talking about? They're like, they put you in the Summoner Showcase. I was like, oh my God. So like, it was really amazing to like see your face there. Like, it's like you're on YouTube. And like all these people are like looking at you and like saying, oh my God, it was great. It was like I felt like I won the Grammy or something. It was fantastic because Karma came, that costume has gone through so much. and it's really retired. Like it's the seams are coming apart, and like I said, the fans are breaking down. So I retired it at the perfect time, and to get into the showcase was just it was the cherry on top. It really was.
Nice.
Oh my God, that's like so amazing to actually feel. I don't know, that's like a cosplayer dream. Like you hope to go to a con and hope to God, like not really, but it just would be really nice. Like you got like this major accomplishment that somebody just really appreciates your cosplay, all that work that you put into it and everything just to come to the opening day to show it off to everybody. That's like one of our nerve-wracking moments.
It's really hard too because you're like you want to impress the people that you don't want to. Like I'm a person. I wouldn't say I'm a perfectionist, but when it comes down to things, I like to make things with my own personal style and finesse. And even if I commission it, I still alter it sometimes to my own personality. And it's one of those situations where when you're representing a character that is from a big company, like Riot Games is basically why esports is on the map right now. So it's one of those situations where you don't want to mess up at all. So it was amazing feeling. And like I think back and I was just like, wow, they loved it. Wow, that much that they put me on their Summoner Showcase. Wow. So yeah. I can't say that it wasn't a great thing, but it was phenomenal.
Have you ever, like speaking of like esports for a second, like have you ever attended one of the like the major league tournaments? Like I guess the worldwide tournaments, I guess.
I would love to. I've never I watch it constantly, like Worlds. I recently watched Worlds. I watched the Hearthstone tournament, which I like Hearthstone too because it's very addictive. But yeah, I watched the Worlds tournament. I'm gonna watch the All Stars game. If they were to, I wanted to go to the one in New York, but at the time, I always put my life before cosplaying or anything like that. So I was working. Unfortunately, I had to work that weekend because I was working my Halloween job at the theme park, and you can't take off those days because that's when they need you the most. So if they ever do another one on the East Coast, another big esports thing on the East Coast tournament like that for North America, I would be there in a heartbeat. I would be there. I would make a new cosplay for it. I would be there in a heartbeat because I would like to see it live than seeing it streamed on Twitch or something like that.
When we finish up the show, remind me to tell you something off camera.
Okay.
Yeah. But
so the characters you choose, how do you determine them? Like, do you have a preference? Do you just pick straight video game characters or just anime characters, or just like, I like this, I'm feeling this anime, I want to play them?
It's definitely something that, I do have to feel for the character. Like, I do like villains. I'm a sucker for villains. Like, I love a good villain, too. And it's hence why it was like, people are like, well, you either pick super strong characters, elegant characters, or you pick bad villains. And that's basically my three characteristics of what I'm going to play. Like I'm like I said, I'm doing Jasper from Steven Universe because I fell in love with Jasper the first time I saw them land on land and to invade them. And I was just like, I love this character. I have to cosplay it. And I love elegant like women from Anthe, from Revolutionary Girl Utena. I'm doing Josephine soon from Dragon Age Inquisition. And then, of course, there's Karma. And then there's the super strong like characters like Sakura from Danganronpa or, wow, I had a brain fart. Or Ilawi. I can't say her name right. It's still, I'm going to cosplay and I still can't say her name. But she's basically the new champion from League of Legends. She's like this big, strong, buff, big woman. So it's basically like I like powerful characters. I like powerful villains and elegant women and big buff women. I just love those kind of characters. And I have to know the character. I can't be. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, if you want to cosplay a character pure on looks, that's fine with me. I'm not going to judge. Who am I to judge? But I can't. But I personally have to know the character. Like I have to feel the character, understand the character. Could I see myself being that character? Could I do the motions and stuff like that? So it's more of a bonding thing with me where I if I don't feel the character, I'm not going to cosplay it. Like if there's a group cosplay and they say, oh, you can do this character, I'm not going to do it. Because if I'm not feeling the character, I'm not going to cosplay the character. And I'm not going to be into it as much as some people who could just look at a character and just do it with no problem. And so I just that's just me. That's just my preference. And it's just different. Everyone has different ones. It's just, I have to have it like that.
Yeah, I totally understand because like I'm going through this phase because you see that I have dreads. So everybody's like, oh my gosh, you should. I didn't even watch it before. I still haven't watched it to this day. Walking Dead. Like, oh, you should just cosplay as her because you had the dreads. You had the physique just like her. You should cosplay her. I'm like, I can't. They're like, why? Because I have not watched The Walking Dead, and I feel like I'll be letting down Walking Dead fans if I try to do that because I have no clue what I'll be doing. So I don't want to feel like a poser trying to do that. So I get that. I have the same views of you about that, choosing a character based on what you're passionate about, not of how you look, or people say you should do this because of your skin color or because you're a girl or whatever reason people believe you should be them. So I support that same cause. But
I mean, like I said, I don't find nothing bad about it. Like if you want to cosplay a character pure on looks, that's you. As long as you're having fun. In the end, I'm all for it. I don't care. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh well, you don't know the character, so you shouldn't do that. But I do tell people to be careful, especially in the League of Legends community cosplay, because if you ever heard about anything about League people, they said they're the most toxic players that you could run into. And and when I did my panel about League of Legends in the cosplay community, I completely and utterly agree with it, because if you cosplay a character and you don't know the pose and you do the pose completely wrong, they will call you out on it. And then they find out you don't have a summoner's name and that you're just cosplaying the character because, you found the character attractive or cute or blah, 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 blah. They will call you out on it so fast because they love these characters so much.
Because thing is, I never played Leagues. I've been seeing them at cons slowly every year, and I'm like, oh, that look like from anime. And then somebody's like, oh, that's Leagues of Legends. I'm like, oh, I never knew. Like, it looks really cool, but I just don't know much about it. I didn't know people were that passionate about their characters. In League of Legends.
Oh yeah, and it's like people do confuse League with like an anime or like basically anime, because it's very, very heavily based on Japanese culture in some of the areas. Like Ionia is basically Japanese, like pure Japanese culture or Asian culture, because there's you have your samurai like characters, you have your ninja like characters, and then like it's such a diverse areas that they have where you would think it is straight from an anime, but it's not. So people do confuse that a lot, that League of Legends, oh, that character is from an anime. Like Sona, for example. Sona is a support champion who basically is a mute. She is heavily based on Hasunu Miku from Vocaloid. As I said those things. Yeah. Yeah. She's heavily, like if you look at her face and then you look at her hair and the things in her hair, you're like, yep, they're based. She's definitely based off of her. So it's a lot of influence that they pull from. Like they have a character that was just for in celebration of Korea. Her name is Ari, and she's a fox girl with was it 9 tails? Does she have 9 tails or 6 tails? I forget how many tails she has. She's like this really, huh?
I believe it's 9 tails in Legend because I'm into the whole Korean K-pop thing, and I remember watching a drama where they had like a 9-tailed fox. So I believe it's 9.
Yeah, it's yeah. She's like one of the fan favorites. So, I mean, like they take things from different cultures and things like that. Like the new champion, she has a very she reminds me of her accent reminds me of Calypso from Pirates of the Caribbean. So it's just like. If you get confused, it's very fine to get confused because, yeah, they look like characters from different kinds of things. So, and that's why I appreciate the game so much because of the diversity in it now.
So I see you're really passionate about League of Legends. So you always been gaming your whole life? Or it's just something you picked up one day? Like you said, you were really into Halo. Was that your first game that you really picked up that brought you into the gaming community? Or there was something else that drawed you into gaming?
I've been playing video games since I was 3. So we had my family, when we lived in our apartment, we had the Nintendo, and I was very heavily addicted to Duck Hunt. So every time I would come home from daycare, I would like say, oh, I want to play the Nintendo. And I would be after, we did our ABC stuff. My mom would do flashcards and I'd be sitting there like, can we get this over with? And then I'd just hop on and do Duck Hunt. And then as I slowly got older, I got the Sega Genesis, which was my gateway into Sonic. Because I'm a big Sonic fan, despite how downhill Sonic has gone down. I'm still a Sonic fan, probably till the day I die. I'll be like 80 years old and be like, I love Sonic. And I got a game called Rocket Knight Adventures, which is a phenomenal game on Genesis. It's very underrated by Konami. And then from there, I transitioned to the PS1. I got a Dreamcast, a GameCube, N64, a GameCube, PS2, Xbox. From there, I got an Xbox 360. And now I have a Wii U. I'm about to get a PS4. I play mostly now on PC, though, because basically everything can work on PC. Yes. And I love PC games. I'm very addicted to a game called Undertale now, which is very phenomenal. Something you should check out. It's only $10 on Steam. It's a really good game. Okay. I'm sorry?
That's PC?
Yeah, it's PC. It's a game called Undertale. It reminds you, have you ever heard of what's it called? Home something. It's where Ness is from. From the
Homebound or Earthbound or something.
Earthbound, yes. Yeah. It reminds you of Earthbound. And it's like it's 1632-bit game. It's really, really good. And it's multiple. It's a game that you can play over and over again to get multiple endings, and it's phenomenal. Like I was shocked when I was playing this game. I thought it was like a hype. Like you know how people like, oh, this game is great. It's a hype game. Blah 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 blah. Like Call of Duty and stuff like that. Like overly like games that are like just like overly hyped, and then you play it, you're just like, okay, this is the game is about. Okay, no. So like I've been a gamer since I was young. I'm not as competitive as I used to be because now I have a son and stuff like that. Like I'll play Splatoon online or I'll play Smash and things like that. I'm not as competitive as I used to be.
So what do you say? You prefer PC or console? Because you have like a whole bunch of, gosh, yeah. I remember those days when I used to have so many consoles. I only have one now. But so you prefer just playing mostly either PC or do you prefer console?
I prefer PC. Like, and I have nothing against console gaming. It's just that I prefer PC because I feel that there's more freedom to PC, and I love the modding community, especially on Steam. Mm-hmm. I play a lot of Skyrim when I'm bored, and I mod it to death. So with the mods, you can like change up your game so much that it's not even Skyrim anymore. It's a completely different game. Yes. So I think that's why I prefer PC. I wouldn't be like one of the people that say, "Oh, you should play PC and only PC master race." But I would be like, "Oh, I just like PC. I like PC more because I have more friends that play on PC, like Smite and League of Legends." Hearthstone. I can play Heroes of the Storm, World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy 14. So it's Final Fantasy 14 is on PS4 and PS3. Don't get me wrong, but I prefer playing it on PC.
And you said Smash, so I have to challenge you at some point.
I am okay. I used to be a tournament player back when I used to live in New Hampshire, and I actually won third place up on the New Hampshire to compete in California. I got third place up there, but I'm really good at Kirby. And then everyone's like, "Who's your best?" I'm like, "Kirby is my best champion. Little Pink Marshmallow is my best champion." I really love playing Kirby. Like, I love Kirby so much. He's one of my favorite Nintendo characters, so I had to get good as Kirby and mess with people as Kirby. So my son, when he plays me, of course I let up on him because he likes to play Diddy Kong. He likes to play Diddy Kong, young Link, and he likes who's that fourth character he likes? It's a female too, Rosalina. He likes Rosalina.
Okay.
So yeah, he likes Rosalina. It's like one of those complicated characters, and you can play Rosalina. I'm just like sitting there like, okay.
I haven't really figured her out. I mean, granted, I mainly play with the gamepad because I don't have a pro controller yet. But like, she's kind of hard. Like, I get her, but then I don't get her.
Yeah. He knows how to play her though. Even when I let up on him, he goes ham. Okay. I'm just like, are you beating me with Rosalina right now?
Okay.
So, but yeah, I had to get the amiibo for him because he loves Rosalina. That's like his girl. So I had to get the amiibo, which was a pain in the butt. Because people would be lined up at Target. I did the smart thing and went to the Targets that I don't want to say it's like the Target that no one goes to, and like it's in a backwoods, and you can't really find it. You don't want to drive there because it's so difficult to drive there. Mm-hmm. So I just basically had a friend that worked there. It's like, "Can you pull a Rosalina aside for me?" And she was like, "Yeah, I can do that." And she bought it for me, and it was like, and while everyone was like hustling to get a Rosalina at Target, so I'm just like, mine's is sitting at home. My son is using it right now.
Yeah, I have not bought any amiibos, but I'm just like, one of our friends, like he and his wife, they have so many amiibos. I was going to look at their collection. I'm like, y'all won't miss one, but nah, I can't do it because like I know like as soon as I buy one, I'm gonna get addicted. And I was like, I refuse to buy any. I mean, my main on Smash is Samus, and I'm like,
oh, okay.
So I'm trying to learn more people, but I feel comfortable with her. So I'm like, all right. But that's been my character since the first Smash. So I'm like, okay.
Anyway, that was me with Kirby. Kirby's my boy. Oh, girl. I still don't know if Kirby's a boy or girl. I keep thinking Kirby's a boy. I want to say Kirby's a boy. It's just like when people think Tweety's a girl, and I say, no, Tweety's a boy.
I believe Kirby's a boy. I think that a show, when they had a show, I think it was a boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Right Back at Ya. It was like for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. I watched it too. And how terrible it was, I still watched it because I love Kirby. But I used Kirby in King Day. And I forget, my third character is a female. I forget her name. She's the Fire Emblem character. Oh my god.
Is it Marth?
I'm sorry?
Marth, I think.
No, not Marth. The girl with the long hair, Lucina.
Lucina or something.
Yeah, Lucina. I use Lucina.
Okay.
So that's. I want to get better with the more complicated characters. Like, I want to like. I don't have. I know they added Cloud now, and I was so shocked to see Cloud. I'm like,
Yeah.
I heard about that. I read about that. I was like, what? That's crazy.
Like, that was completely left field for me. Like, I thought they were gonna add like Shovel, like
Yeah,
people
Shovel
who,
Knight. Yeah, that would have been good.
like, predominantly have been on Nintendo. So, I mean, not like Cloud hasn't. I mean, he was on like a couple in games as like a side character, yeah, but he wasn't like, it wasn't like Final Fantasy VII was released on Nintendo.
No.
So I was like, Cloud's gonna be in this game. Nintendo must be up to something. So
just like when I heard when Ryu was in it, I was like, out of all the characters,
I understand, yeah.
I don't know. It just seems kind of odd to me because like all the characters, and then he's like Ryu, and I'm like, it's kind of odd. It's just seeing Street Fighters like we have Marvel versus Capcom, so it was just weird.
Ryu, I completely understand because Street Fighter has been on Nintendo, and then they had the Capcom versus Tatsunoko game that came out on the Wii. So I completely understood seeing Ryu there. But then it was just like when I saw Scott, I'm like, what the hell? That is completely left field. That's odd.
I thought the only reason I kind of thought that made sense is being that there's the remake coming next year of Final Fantasy VII, but that probably won't be on the Wii U.
And you know what? With Nintendo, they hide their stuff a lot better than most gaming companies. Like,
true.
You hear about video game leaks all the time. Nintendo will hide stuff so well. it's amazing. Like, you never hear, it's like very rare you'll hear a leak with Nintendo about characters and things like that. And when I don't know what else they have in store, because when they even announced Mewtwo was coming back, I was like, oh, thank God.
Yes, that's my favorite Pokemon. I don't care what people say. That's my dude. So, okay. But I have not bought the DLC yet, which is surprising. But,
I haven't bought Ryu, and my son wants me to get Ryu. He's like, when are we going to get Ryu? I was like, I keep forgetting to buy Ryu. And I feel bad because he really wants Ryu. Like, he has Lucas. He has Mewtwo. He doesn't have Ryu, and now Cloud's coming out. I have to get Cloud because he doesn't even know who Cloud is, but now I guess he's going to learn very soon. Because he thought Cloud looked very cool. He was like, oh, he looks cool. He has a sword and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I have to get Cloud.
If I'm not mistaken, there are going to be like some Final Fantasy stages as well.
Yes, I think it's... Final Fantasy VII is not my favorite Final Fantasy, but it's mid something, whatever. I don't remember. I've only played through Final Fantasy VII once, and that was one enough for me because it's not my favorite. It's good. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's not my favorite. Final Fantasy VI is my favorite out of all the Final Fantasy. And then I would say 9. Then I would say 7. Like if I was to do a top 3, it would be 6, 9, 7 as my favorites. So, but yeah, I don't remember all the places. I just remember like, I don't want to say spoilers, but people should have played this game by now. It's been like almost 20 years. But it's like I remember like predominant things, and I watched Advent Children, which was confusing because my boyfriend watched it and he was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh right, you didn't play the game, so you don't understand a darn thing right now." So it's not like I said, it's not my favorite, but it's up there in my top 3.
Yeah, if I'm trying to find my copy, like I just found my copy of 9, but 7 somewhere.
I love 9. 9 was really good for me. At least to me it was. I just love the story in 9. I love 6 because the villain was just amazing. Kefka is like hands down my favorite villain of all time. And I mean, I have nothing against Sephiroth. I just think he's just kind of glorified, like an overly glorified mama's boy. So he's a good villain. He's just not my favorite.
Yeah, cause I admit I never finished 7, but like I have Advent Children, and I was like, I don't really get the movie, but I get it to a certain degree. So,
better than that. Played through the game. I didn't have PlayStation when I was young. I only had Nintendo, So I never had the opportunity to play Final Fantasy. So I was robbed of that.
They're good games. They're good RPGs. I wouldn't say it's like I said, Final Fantasy VI is my favorite Final Fantasy. It's not my favorite RPG of all time, but it's like my favorite Final Fantasy of all time, I believe. So it's a great series. I believe they're kind of fallen down a bit with storytelling. Yeah, I kind of do, but it's not to the point where it's disastrous like some series that fall with storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Now, did you like 13? I had to ask.
13 was with lightning, right?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay, fine.
I'm the first. I didn't like it. I mean, it was an okay story, but it was for me. It felt like a letdown.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
And it was like, and some people would think that's brutal, but I was like, yeah, that's kind of how I feel. It was a letdown when it came to Final Fantasy. And I actually said like to my friends, I was like, I'd rather play 12 than play 13. And people who know me knows that when I played 12, I could not even finish it because I was just so done with it. I was just like, this is a horrible game. And I had to put it down and walk away at one point. So I beat 13, but it's just, I felt that was just kind of lackluster. It was overhyped. I'm hoping this new one, I think it's 15 coming out, is going to be good. I'm hoping with the Backstreet Boys kind of thing going on they got.
Oh, yeah,
so,
that one. I remember seeing that trailer.
Yeah, they like drive in the car and stuff. I'm just like, I don't know what to think about this trailer. And I bet this is going to be a really good game because they're not putting too much into it and stuff like that. So I'm hoping it's not terrible, but I can't put my hopes in Square Enix that much anymore.
I admit I've never finished any Final Fantasy game, but to be fair, I think the only two that I've did decent on from my standards is 10 and 13, where like I remember playing 10 for the first time, and like my problem with Final Fantasy has been like the openness of like do what you want, and I kind of always forget to go do the story, and then I would forget to also do like the leveling up grid stuff. But when I played 13, I had in my head of like make sure you level people up. So as I kept going through the story, I was like, I'm actually doing something. And then like I purposely never finished chapter 9 where it goes like I think after 9 it goes to open world, and I was like, I'm gonna stop here because I don't want to go open world, but I know I shouldn't do it, being that I bought it when it came out like the regular price. So I'm like, I should do it, being that I bought it. But, well.
The thing, I like 10 a lot. I wouldn't say I like 10. I wouldn't even say that. Only thing about 10 that I found very addictive was Blitzball.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
That was like, my friend's she was saying, it was like, oh, the world's being destroyed and you're sitting here playing Blitzball. I'm like, well, the world can die and burn because Blitzball is very fun. So.
I gotta point it back out.
Nice playing Blitzball.
It was a very good, like Final Fantasy is famous for their little games and their games, but it was like by far their best one. And it's sad because the story in 10 could have been so much better, but Blitzball just like it made it better. Blitzball made it better for me.
Now correct me if I was wrong. You can play that more than once. Like I don't know internet, so people don't fuss. But you can play it more than once in the game, right?
Oh yeah, you can play. That's the only way you can get Waka's legendary weapon is if you keep playing Blitzball until you beat the championship, and that's the only way you can get his legendary weapon completed. Because I was one of those people that was like, I have to be a completionist and get everything. So, yeah, I was finding myself playing Blitzball for like hours, getting that up to that, but I didn't mind because it was so fun to play it,
Nice.
Which was great.
Okay. Now you're giving me work to do. Great. So, moving on. Because then we've been on gaming for a while. Like, I know that you are also like a big fan of anime as well. It's like, what are some of your favorite animes that you like?
Um, my number one anime is Hellsing, and the only reason why I like Hellsing so much is because I read the manga first, and then I watched the first anime. Well, I kind of like the first anime until they released the actual one that was fully based on the manga. And the only reason why the first anime wasn't fully based on the manga because the manga wasn't finished apparently.
Okay.
But Hellsing, I like more. I like more horror based animes. So I like Hellsing. I like Danganronpa because I love the game. I mean, I don't watch much anime anymore. I don't watch mainstream. I wouldn't even say mainstream. Only mainstream anime I really watch is Sailor Moon.
Okay.
I mean, I used to be into Naruto, but I kind of got bored with the filler episodes. Same thing with Bleach. I don't like fillers.
Okay.
So I'm a person that's just like, can we just get to the main story that we were originally on and not these filler episodes so I can go. I liked Attack on Titan. I watched Attack on Titan. That was pretty good. For older school animes, I loved Bubblegum Crisis, Blue Seed. I used to watch, what was the other one? Escaflowne I loved Escaflowne. Trying to think of my actual collection. Like I'm thinking about like all my DVDs I used to get from Suncoast.
Suncoast.
Oh my god, I can't. I love, what's it called? Monster. Monster's a great anime. I love that. I love Death Note when it first came out. Death Note's amazing. I strangely, and people will probably like criticize me for this, but I love Queen's Blade. I think it's hilarious.
Queen's Play, what is that one about?
It's very fan based. It's basically about a tournament to become the Queen's Blade, and all these women are fighting. There's a censored version and a non-censored version, but it's basically they fight like in these crazy battles to the point where if you are watching the non-censored version, their clothes will fall off. So like it's like this. I really enjoyed it. And I'm a person that will watch. That doesn't matter of like the level of maturity. Not like I'm saying I'm not saying like hentai, but there's boobs. I don't care, long as I like the story.
Right.
So like yeah, I really enjoyed Queen's Blade. Like it's like one of those little things that people don't like to say out loud because it is basically a fan service anime, which I don't. Which some people I mean I really don't care. Like I watch Freezing too, which is another one that clothes come off, but it's basically fighting and things like that. And it is a wrestling one I actually watched too. And I also enjoyed what was it? Dead Man's
Wonderland.
Dead Man's Wonderland. There's this other one, this newer one. It's kind of it reminds me of almost like Saw-ish. It's a very new anime. Actually, it just finished, but it's oh my god, it's on the tip of my tongue. It's very popular now. It's Dead Something. It's basically you fight for if you're going to heaven or hell, and you have to do this like these games and stuff like that. It's like on the tip of my tongue. Oh my god.
No, I was gonna say Game Over something. No,
oh my god. It's gonna kill me until I remember what it is. It's gonna kill me. Like I'm actually gonna cosplay. Oh my god!
Are you talking about Sword Art?
No, that's Sword Art Online. The first episode. It started out with a couple, and they die in the car crash, and they have to play this game of darts. And the game of darts is connected to like their system. They're like tendrils and stuff like that. And whoever gets to 100 basically goes up to heaven. So they're playing this game of darts and they're hurting each other, but they don't want to hurt each other. And it's like it got really intense. And then the twist in it was really good. Oh my god. It's gonna kill me until I figure out what it is.
Is it Death Billiards or something? Billiards?
It's
Death Parade. I don't know.
Death Parade. That's
Okay.
it. That's
Okay.
it. Death Parade. I was like, that's something. It's like something with that. I loved that anime. It was really, really good. Like, it was good. Like, the ending started to make me. Oh my god, the ending actually made me cry. And I haven't cried that hard since Chrono Cross. I love Chrono Cross, the one with the nun girl and the kid that turns into a crazy, giant, handsome demon and stuff like that. Yeah.
Hey.
The Death Parade is really
I
good.
gotta look into that because when you're describing that whole scene, I'm like, yo, that sounds some twisted stuff that I've seen.
It's
like, you know, how this Death
really
Note
messed up.
Code Geass, and like I like twisted.
Oh,
type
I love
anime,
Code
like,
Geass, yeah.
Oh my
I
gosh,
actually
that
am
was
getting the boyfriend into that one because he was like, I like a good villain anti-hero. I was like, oh, you should watch Code Geass. You will probably like that one
the
because he loves
best.
Death Note.
Yeah, he'll Code Geass all the way. It was.
Still have not watched that. Oh, God.
Oh, you have to watch that. You love it. It's so much like the politics and one side not liking one side with the whole mystical powers and oh my gosh, it's so crazy.
Okay.
And a lot
It's a
of
crazy
people
game of chess.
All right.
Yeah, just another game of crazy chess.
I think you just sold me on it with like the mystic powers and weird politics. Okay, I'm good.
Oh yeah, it's the best. Anything with politics and corruption is the best.
I'm trying to think of go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask her, do you prefer dub or sub, or your preference, especially since you're into voice acting? Do you like to watch them in sub more or dub?
It doesn't. For me, it doesn't it depends. It depends on the level of maturity with the anime. Like, sometimes they edit the hell out of stuff with dubbing, and it kind of makes me upset. And if I watch it, like for Sailor Moon is a great example of it. Back in the day, they made Uranus and Neptune cousins instead of lesbian lovers, and it's a great example of how I don't like dubbing, because America will horribly censor an anime in order to please American or every American audience, instead of keeping it true to its nature. There's some amazing dubs. Like Hoki Ice is an amazing dub. I believe Death Note's a good dub, but there are some terrible, terrible, terrible dubs. And then sometimes I do watch it in subs. Like, I watched Attack on Titan in subs before it became a dub, and sometimes I watch Death Parade in subs. It really depends on the quality. It depends on the anime and how mature it is, and how I feel that they're going to change it horribly once it comes over to the States.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I started picking that up too. Like, when something as simple, I don't know if you heard of Cardcaptor Sakura. That's like one of my favorite animes because it's dear to my childhood. And I was watching the dub, and then for some reason I couldn't find any more of the dub, so I picked up a sub, and I was like, hold up, the dialogue and stuff is a little bit different. Hold up, the Americans change everything, like from the names to like certain themes or anything happened to it. I'm like, after a while, just like sub everything. Dub is like crap unless it's like really good. For example, like when I tried to watch Attack on Titans, I was like, ew, everybody's voice is annoying, and they cut out all the good gory stuff. I don't want to see that. That's the whole point of Attack on Titan.
That's the thing I don't like about dubbing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I love the gore. Give me gore any day of like an anime, like Berserk. I love the gore in Berserk. It's crazy.
Yeah, I started watching that one. Like, I need to get and find it. But thanks for saying that, because I forgot about that one. But how did you enjoy Berserk?
I like Berserk. It's a messed up story, but like it's almost realistic to how power can corrupt people. So I find it a great anime, in my opinion. A lot of people like Berserk, but I like Berserk a lot, even though the ending is really, 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 really messed up. But it's like, what can you do?
Because I was thinking, like, you were talking about animes that like do the whole fan service just for the heck of it. Like, Witchblade is one of them, where it's like the women are basically naked, but their clothing is supposed to be the armor that they're wearing, and I'm like, after a while, it doesn't phase you. You're just like whatever. But it's still like okay, that's for the fans. But the story wasn't good. I mean, I need to finish it, but the story it's really adult and like you wouldn't see that on Toonami.
So. No, you wouldn't, and that's what's sad about like I don't know what's going on with our culture. Like when we can show like things on a music award show with people being like close to being naked, but when it comes to anime, we don't get that. I'm just like, this is not fair at all. So whatever.
Yeah, because
they don't understand they're robbing the viewers of the greatness of the story by taking out little scenes like that. Because like those scenes that they take out, even though they may not be appealing to the American audience, is something that is essential in the storyline, especially in the manga too. So people who are getting into anime only watching dub are just missing out.
I'll admit, like when Disney Channel or Disney XD brought over Naruto Shippuden, I was like, well, I'll just watch it because it's on TV. And I just kind of got tired of waiting, so I started watching it on Hulu, and then I realized, like, this is more adult. And so then I just remember one specific episode, like Kakashi is talking to Mari about something, and the Disney version, she says, "You don't understand women," and then I went to the Japanese version, and she says, "That's sexual harassment." I'm like, completely different dialogue, but it's like, gosh, censorship.
Yeah, that's how it works.
A question. I know you're an anime fan, and I have this anal thing. Like, if I watch the manga and not manga, watch the anime, and most of them are not like complete. Do you just pick up after the anime, and just read the manga? Because I used to do that a lot. Do you have that same type of vibe when you watch an anime?
I only did that with Hellsing because, no, I did that with Inuyasha too because I wanted to know how Inuyasha ended because it. Mm-hmm. That was kind of weird how it ended on the anime. But I did that with Hellsing because they didn't finish the manga and they finished the anime first. I wanted to see how it really ended. And how they ended in the manga was 10 times better how they ended in the actual anime. That's why they redid the anime.
Oh, is it? What's the name of the show? I think I've heard it.
Hellsing,
Hellsing, Hellsing.
Right? Is it Hellsing Ultimate or something? Right? Or
is it what?
Is there one called Hellsing Ultimate, or is that just a different show?
It's like Hellsing. Yeah, Hellsing Ultimate is the one that's based on the actual manga fully.
Okay.
Yeah, that one's based on the manga fully, and it's really good. It's really, really good. It's really gory too. So it's not for the weak. It's not for the weak. No. It's like decapitations, like skulls being ripped apart, throats being torn and stuff like that. So it's really good though. I like the story.
Okay.
Have you watched Full Metal Alchemist?
Yes, I watched both of them. I liked Brotherhood a lot more because it was true to the manga. It was more. Oh goodness! It was more true to the manga than the first one. Brotherhood was so much better than the first anime they released. I think there was another instance of they finished the anime before they finished the manga, and that's why it was written like that the first time. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody keeps convincing me,
and I don't know,
suggesting that I watch Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes, you need to watch. Yes, you need to watch it. I keep bothering you about that. I'll do that to you again later.
I know.
You're let's watch it.
I know.
But have you started watching One Punch Man? Because all over social media right now is going over One Punch Man.
It's hilarious. That's a hilarious anime. I actually watched it at work with a couple of my work buddies. We were just like, we watched it in the back, and I was like, this is one of the funniest, like, most random animes I've ever watched, and I've watched Fooly Cooly. So it's just like, I think it's hilarious. I think it's written pretty well. Apparently there was a manga. I didn't know that, but yeah, I think it's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I just started it yesterday, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a very interesting anime. How I don't know. You have to pick it up. You have to pick it up, Chancellor. Like, it's hilarious. You will love it. So far, I started watching it, but it's good. I just wanted to see your hype about it.
All I know is the meme where it's Kalu, and then it shows Kalu Ultimate, Shippuden, and it's the One Punch Man. I'm like, okay.
Caillou, yeah.
Caillou, so thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Caillou.
That's when I first saw it. That's when I first saw it too. It was he was fighting to the Caillou theme song. I was like, what is this? I started getting into it.
It's hilarious. It's really good. But this will be interesting. Out of all the characters that you have cosplayed from, if you were able to choose the life and live the life of that character, who would you choose and why?
That's actually, I've never actually had that question before. Well, I wouldn't want to pick anyone from Danganronpa because that's just not a good idea. And then I would probably pick Karma because she's the leader of her own country, basically, in a nutshell. I mean, yes, she's in constant war, but she's a leader. She's a strong leader. She has actually won one of the battles, great battles between her and Noxus. She's highly highly regarded. Yeah, out of all the characters, I would pick her or. I'm actually looking at my cosplay list now. Probably Sailor Mercury. Well, it was a steampunk Sailor Mercury, but Sailor Mercury because I do love Sailor Moon and she's my favorite character. And who doesn't want to be a magical girl? So, so yeah, it would probably be those two characters. I'd probably think would be my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah, I could probably live those lives. That would be fun.
Yeah, that would be fun. Well, we tried to live the lives by cosplaying. That's the closest we'll get.
Basically.
I know you said steampunk. Like, that's something I'm really trying to get into now. It's like, have you done any more than that one?
Then what was the question? I'm sorry.
Like I know you said steampunk. Like, have you done any more steampunk cosplays, or is that your only one you've done so far?
I want to do more steampunk cosplays. I would love to. Like my friend, I want to do a steampunk Catwoman one day when I have the time and chance. Okay. But other than that, yeah, I don't have any more, but I want to get more into it.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I just tried a last year I did like a steampunk Superman, and this year I did like a steampunk Doctor from Doctor Who. I need to expand on both to make them bigger. So,
it's one of those things where steampunk is for me it's kind of like difficult because you're just like you don't want to add too much to it, but you don't want to add too less to it that people don't think it's steampunk, you know?
Right.
Yeah, that was my dilemma with Mercury. It was just like I have stuff that can make it steampunk, but I feel like it's not steampunky enough.
What kind of props do you have for steampunk?
I didn't actually have any props for her because it was like hard to make a prop for steampunk. But if I do Catwoman, I kind of want to do like a whip that looks like, I don't know, it sounds difficult, but like I want to do a whip that if I can do the mechanism right, that can come out and go back in with a push of a button.
Okay.
So to make it like a future, like a steampunk like whip instead of just having a regular whip, you know, if that makes sense. That's my idea for it. Okay. I don't know if it's gonna work, but that's my idea for it.
Of all the things I've seen recently, like I would say anything is possible.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen so many like ideas that are just like being made. I never thought that could be made in the cosplay community. So I'm like, yeah, I believe you when you say anything is possible.
Because I think like recently I saw somebody cosplay as one of the big daddies, and he had a working drill, and I just happened to walk by him real close, and I saw like him like pushing it. So I was like, okay, so that's how you're making it work. Like I think he had like, I'm not sure how he set it up, but it worked, and I was like, that's cool. So, and I was like, all right, I gotta learn how to start building things instead of just like having an outfit.
It's okay.
There's nothing wrong with adding things and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I agree with what you said. Like, you don't want it to like whatever you do, you don't want it to become like, I guess, too convoluted. If that's the right word.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed that you have done like gender bends of cosplays, like your Nick Fury. So have you done any more like, cosplays like that before, or as well?
I did a gender bend of Rise from League of Legends, and then I did, if you want to call it a gender bend, but I did a female version of Bard from League of Legends. I'm actually, my next gender bend is going to be Lando Calrissian from Star Wars pretty soon, with my friend at Cosplay, who's also a guest at Anymore, and she's going to be Han Solo. So okay. I like gender bending a lot, actually. I want to do more gender bends, but sometimes it's difficult as you're basically taking a character and making it into a female form. But what that female form would look like, because you have no idea, because you've never seen that character as a female to understand what that character could look like as a female. Mm-hmm. So it gets very difficult because the Nick Fury was, I was like, well, I want to make Nick Fury look like one of those old, like, if I see Nick Fury, I would see Nick Fury with like leggings, and he wears boots already, so I will give him boots and then have like the long trench coat, and he wears a sweater, so I did a sweater dress instead of a sweater top. So it's just like it's very hard to figure out a gender bend, but it's very fun to be a female version of a male character.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I think the first person I saw do a gender bend was this year. It's a friend of mine who did it of Aquaman, and like when I saw it, I was like, oh, Aquaman. Like, it didn't take much for me to recognize who the character was, and then I started thinking, I was like, I guess I never thought about gender bending before, but like that. But again, I'm still relatively new to cosplay, so I'm still learning.
Yeah, it's fun to gender bend. Like, it's like one of my favorite. It's one of my little favorite things to do. I like the gender bend as much as possible, but it's like I said, with my schedule and things like that, it's very hard. Like, I have a list of characters I still want to gender bend. Like Lando Calrissian, thankfully, is coming up pretty soon for Anymore, so I'll actually get that one out the way.
And we have to ask, since you said Lando, are you excited for Star Wars next month?
Oh, definitely. Me and my son are like super excited. I wish we can go the premiere day, but it would be like, no, it's not a good idea because I don't want to take him out so late and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been waiting for this, and it looks really good. And I trust J.J. Abrams. I really do, because I love his work. Like what he did with Star Trek was phenomenal. So I trust that he will do great things with Star Wars, especially with the great cast that he has.
Yes, I'm hopeful. Like, I still have not got my ticket yet, but I'm hopeful. Like I guess you can tell that, like, looking at what he's done, just by looking at the trailers and then seeing how he handled Star Trek. Like, you can tell it's his vision. It's not George Lucas. And like, I love what George Lucas did, but you can tell that this is a different approach.
Mm-hmm. So. It's a much different approach, but I love how they're going back to basics and they're doing sets instead of a whole CG experience. Oh. And that's why I'm really happy that they're going back to sets. So that makes me extremely happy.
Oh yes, but in order to not go to have another episode in PR Star Wars Hour. I'll let MintyKid continue because we're known for doing that, having a Star Wars talk which goes on forever.
Well, yeah, we can go on all day for Star Wars. I mean, we had a whole podcast. So, I want to ask, you're really into Lolita fashion, right?
I did Lolita like once, and I really liked it, but it's so expensive, so I don't want to get into it because I have to remember like I have a real life and stuff. But yeah, I love looking at the fashion. I go to the Lolita fashion shows. My friend, one of my good friends, is super into Lolita fashion. So yeah, other than that, no, I wouldn't say I'm part of it, but I like to watch it.
Okay, because I'm kind of have that mix for Lolita fashion. Like I like the cosplay. Like I'm now trying to do characters, but mostly everything I try to do is based off like Lolita or the Japanese fashion from Harajuku stuff. So that's why I seen that the dress that you had, it was like awesome. I fell in love with it. I loved every minute of it. So I just wanted to
it's just
ask
so
about
expensive.
That. I really liked it. Very. I was lucky to get this dress from a coworker.
Oh, yeah. Really?
It really. Yeah, because my coworker was into that, and she had a dress, and she was sold me like a whole bunch of like a skirt and a full dress for like $100, and I was like, okay, and I just wore it to this convention. I just got accessories and everything, and it came all together like real nice, and especially I went to Hot Topic and I found like this lace umbrella. It just just brought it all together. So that's like my own one Lolita dress. But everything else is like something I put together from stuff, and bam, I just had something with like some type of Lolita fashion.
Oh wow!
Mm-hmm.
It's just I just don't want to put so much money into something that I know I'm just going to wear a couple times. I'm not saying I'm cheap or anything. It's just I have a son I have to take care of, so I wouldn't do it. So maybe other people can do it, but I'm just like, no. I know how much money goes into that. No.
So let's get into the real important stuff, because we know that you were really into about cosplay bullying, and you were mentioning it before. What influenced you to start being an advocate for cosplay bullying? Did you have something like a personal experience that affected you where you had to be like, yeah, I'm going to start this movement to spread awareness about it?
Yeah, that's basically in a nutshell. It was a experience that it happened with the karma. There was some really mean and hurtful comments like that. It kind of got to me, and I was just like, wow, is this like the negative light of cosplaying with people? So it was like, well, I don't want to be like, I wouldn't want to be that person that has to deal with that, So I just was like, I took my page and I say, hey, if anyone has any, issues, you're free to contact me. I usually do it like monthly. I say, don't forget, guys, my inbox is always open if you need someone to talk to, need advice and things like that, because I feel that no one should go through with that. I've seen friends quit because of that, and it's horrible that people can't get into a hobby they love because of individuals just wanting to bring them down. So I do panels at conventions. I do, if I get the panel approved, and more, I'm going to be doing a panel about cosplay discrimination and things like that from all different types of sides, from cosplayer colors to transgender cosplayers to cosplayers with disabilities and things like that who go under these problems, who are constantly bullied because people say, oh, you shouldn't cosplay that, or you look terrible in that, oh, you're a slur word and things like that. So it's one of those things where I try my best to spread the awareness best I can. And I also work with I've done a couple of projects. Like I've done put on a purple cosplay, which is close to my heart because my mother has lupus, and purple is the color of lupus. So we do this every in celebration of Lupus Awareness Month. We do a movement called Pulling Your Purple Cosplay, and when we share cosplay that are purple. The person that runs it is called, I think has, oh my God, don't tell me I forget her name. Lolita Bott. She is the person in charge of the put on purple cosplay because she herself has lupus. So that's another thing I do that, you know, spreads some kind of other awareness in the cosplay community. I want to actually do more charity work. I want to go to, you know, hospitals as friendly characters. Like maybe I want to do Tiana from Princess and the Frog, have like a whole princess group or Marvel superheroes, and go to hospitals and, like, you know, help some kids out and put a smile on their face and see if maybe they too may get into cosplay despite their sickness or disability.
Is it just you, or do you have other people who are in this advocate movement that you started? Do you have other people, cosplayers that also
I know
help you?
Yeah, there's a couple of cosplay friends that do do a lot of anti-bullying thing. My friend, is it Samurai Titan Shadow. He talks about bullying in the cosplay community. He was recently in a video about Black cosplayers with a couple other Black cosplayers about how discrimination with cosplayers of color happen all the time, and how cosplayers of color are treated compared to other types of cosplayers. So he's a big advocate against cosplay bullying and things like that. There's someone named Vicious Cosplay. She was one of the people that I did the panel cosplay and discrimination with, and she's an amazing cosplayer. She believes everyone should cosplay no matter what. Those are two people I think of, like, right there, like, you know, I can think of right off the bat. The League of Legends group that we have a group, cosplay group. We have rules that you are not allowed to discriminate against anybody no matter what. We do not allow slut shaming, fat shaming, skinny shaming, or any kind of shaming whatsoever. That is an instant ban. If you don't like someone's cosplay, you keep it to yourself. You know, it's something that we like to spread around. We don't like, you know, people putting other people down. It's just wrong. It's rude. You don't ever know what that person's going to do. I mean, I forgot his name, and I feel bad for forgetting his name, but a cosplayer killed himself. He committed suicide. I think it was like within a year, and I followed his work because he was getting bullied.
Yeah,
so that's something that I like to avoid for people.
That's just horrible. Like, what kind of things that they were saying to him? And that's just horrible. Like,
his name was Frank Wolf.
Frank Wolf?
Yeah, he died. He committed suicide back in December of 2013. He was very young, and he was dealing with a lot of online bullying. I can show you someone said that he was alive and he was hacked, but I haven't seen his account active for a very long time. So it hasn't been active since 2013. So I believe that it's in the paper. Okay, so yeah, he did the rumor. I don't know who spread the rumor that he was still alive, but yeah, he committed suicide back in December of 2013. So it was about 2 years ago.
Oh my God. I heard of people quitting their pages, but something that drastic, I never knew it was that bad. That's how come I'm kind of afraid of going into it, especially as somebody in color. Because I'm not sure if you're going through the same thing being a cosplayer of color. Do you get any negative shaming?
Oh, yeah. When I did Karma, I got the N-word tossed around at me. I was called a monkey and things like that, and it it was very discouraging that people can be so mean about someone's work that they, put into, instead of, being more uplifting. And it really it hurt my feelings at first. And that's one of the reasons why I got into helping other people, because I feel cosplay is for everyone, all shapes and sizes, all backgrounds, no matter who you are. So it's just like I don't know. I don't know why people can be so mean about someone's hobby, someone that put love into something and cares about it,
Since you started the movement of the cosplay bullying awareness, have you affected anybody's life personally where, I guess they quit and they started up again, or someone who felt they couldn't do it and they're starting to like flourish with their cosplaying? Have you touched anybody's life? Any personal stories that you'd like to share?
I think there's some people that do say, oh, you're one of the reasons why I got into cosplaying, and you're one of the, oh, thank you for, being an inspiration for me. And it's like, it feels very nice to like, that people say that I can help someone get into something that they really want to get into, instead of them being discouraged because of how they are, or who they are, or their background and things like that. I'm not going to like, I'll meet people that do come to me, when they email me, I do keep them anonymous. I like when people say, oh, I'm an inspiration, I'll like share it on my personal, and I'll block out their name, because I feel that they shouldn't have their, I'm not going to put their name out there and their business out there, because that's wrong.
Right.
That's totally understandable, but it's good to share those stories because it could touch somebody else's heart, especially people who are kind of in the I don't know, I'm afraid stages of going into the cosplaying world. Do you have plans on trying to spread this kind of further from where you're just doing with panels, like trying to connect with other cosplayers, big cosplayers, to spread the awareness of cosplaying bullying so they can spread it at their local conventions?
I would love to, honestly. I would love to spread it. I would love to get more bigger cosplayers into it. But if I had the resources, I would do it in a heartbeat. And like maybe I had a project a long time ago, but due to real life, I couldn't finish it. I was going to do a documentary talking about, doing different cosplayers of different backgrounds and talking about their experiences and how they were treated in the community, how they were bullied and stuff like that, and also how they overcame it. And it was going to be like, it's going to be like a big thing from cosplayers from all parts of life and all places. But I just, like I said, I don't have the resources or the funds to keep flying everywhere to do it. I would love to do it. But it'll be one of those things where if I maybe hit the lottery, but other than that, no, I can't do it.
Right.
Well, I really do like this whole idea that you're doing, and each day I hope you really do touch a future cosplayer's heart and stop incidents of someone thinking that they can't deal with anymore to give up their own life. So I really do appreciate this movement that you're really doing, and hopefully it continues going and it grows.
I do too.
Yeah, I'm gonna hopefully do another panel. Hopefully I'll get that recorded and sent out. Hopefully people can catch on. Maybe I can do like a Kickstarter. Yeah, a Kickstarter for the project if I have people backing it. But other than that, that's all I can really do is like help people. You can send me your experiences if you need any assistance with anything. Just let me know. And I'll help you best I can. If I can just change someone's life and get them into something they truly love, then I would actually feel really good, about helping someone over someone possibly just quitting or sadly ending their life.
Well, for sure, if you really do start that Kickstarter page, I will be grateful to donate to help you start that movement. And hopefully, I know if you do spread it around in the community, especially, I know because since I'm in the um, people of color cosplaying groups, they're always ultimate advocates, especially for cosplay discrimination. So letting them know what's going on, they will like to support this and hope to spread more awareness for this. So if you do start that Kickstarter page, I will greatly support it, and hopefully the rest of the community will do the same.
Yeah, I'll see if I still have the passion to do it. Hopefully if I can. I was thinking about getting a couple friends to help because I know people who are transgender. I have a couple people who are cosplayers of color, and then people who are gay or lesbian. So I know I can get people together to do the documentary. It's just my life is so busy. I wish it was. I wish I had all the time in the world, but I don't. So, but if I do it, it may just be East Coast oriented. But then I feel that it's not getting everything because there are West Coast cosplayers and Southern cosplayers and Northern cosplayers, and so we'll see. I mean, this may actually spark it back for me doing this again. So,
right.
It only takes one little spark to start everything to grow. So you have to start with this East Coast, cover East Coast, make everybody happy there, and then spread it forward.
That's right.
But final questions. What kind of advice would you leave for aspiring cosplayers like me and Chancellor D or any cosplayer in general that will help them get out their comfort zone? Especially for you since you started. And what would you say would be the ultimate advice to help them get out that struggle?
I think cosplay from somewhere that you feel comfortable with at first. Don't try to overwhelm yourself with something that could be super hard. Like I did Lana, which was super simple and easy, and then I progressed to a more difficult cosplay. Surround yourself with positive people in the community. Join groups. Groups can be very, very nice. They can be very, very helpful, and they can be a very, very positive place to start out because they'll root for you and say, oh, okay, and you can ask advice and things like that. Join gatherings. There always are going to be gatherings for the same cosplay that you're doing. Sorry, that's my son coughing. That you're doing in the community, and also remember the most of my favorite rule is always have fun and cosplay for you, and don't cosplay for anyone else because it's your work, your time, your effort. Or even if you bought it, it shouldn't matter. I mean, as long as you're having fun in the end, it's all that matters. Your happiness, not anyone else's.
And I totally agree. And those are some great words to leave our fellow listeners, our fellow future cosplayers who are listening out there. But if they want to get in touch with you, especially since you said you have an email address, you don't mind sharing that with us? Hopefully we'll put that somewhere in the comments section, not what the description section, so they can also reach you too. But where they can get in touch with you directly.
You guys, there's many ways you guys can get in touch with me. There's my Facebook page. I'm mostly on that. That's probably the best way to get in touch with me because my alerts on my phone. I will stop working to talk to people. No, I don't stop working. I mean, like when I have a break, I will talk to you guys. I don't want to say it out loud with my job. So you guys are free to contact me on my Facebook page, which is basically facebook.com/Kamikaze Miko cosplay. My email is Kamikaze Miko @yahoo.com. If you play League of Legends, you can find me you can find my summoner's name, Kamikaze Miko. You can add me. I do try to play games with fans as much as possible. I try to. Some people will invite me to a game. I don't know exactly who you are, but you say you're a fan, I'll play with you. I don't care. And then I have an Instagram. You can just look me up under the same name. And that's probably the best way to contact me. If you guys have any problems, if you're being bullied, if someone's telling you you can't do it, or you just need advice, real life advice, I can do the best I can for you. I'm not perfect. I'm not like, the Dalai Lama. I don't give I can't say my advice is perfect, but I can truly help you, especially with the cosplay aspect of bullying.
Well, I'd like to thank you, and hopefully our listeners will take advantage of that, especially our cosplay beginners who are kind of scared of this, that they know somebody out there in the community is there to support them no matter what, and understand that the cosplaying community, there are supportive people there to help you no matter what, from little life advice to wig advice, whatever. I'm glad people are like you are out there in the community.
Yeah, so am I.
I love to help. I don't want anyone to go through what I went through, nor I don't want anyone to hurt themselves or possibly something worse over bullying. I think that's the worst thing that can happen to someone, because you leave so much behind, and you there could have been something. I wish I could have done something, but for people more. So this is why, if you guys need anything from me, just let me know. I don't mind helping out at all.
All right. Well, thanks for having you here today. It was fun talking with you today.
Yes.
Any final words, Chancellor?
I just want to also say thank you for coming on our show today, and I really appreciate what you said about offering advice and sharing stories, because one thing, I don't mind sharing this. One of the things that I wanted to do in life was to become a high school counselor, but things change and now I'm on a different path. But I still have that counselor mentality, although I didn't take that many classes. But just to know more people who are out here who are actually trying to make a bigger difference. I try when I can, but I am not on your level. So, but I'm real thankful to know you and know what you're doing, and I think for some people, and I'm just wondering, have people ever called you like an inspiration to them?
Yeah, I get people that say, "Oh, thank you so much. You inspired me to get into cosplaying," and things like that. I do get that once. I wouldn't say once in a while. Just when they just want to hear something from somebody and saying that you can do it. Sometimes that little thing can actually help inspire someone. That's just like when you give someone a hello or a smile or just a random hug. You can actually help them for the rest of the day.
Right, and as they say, a smile can go a long way in people's lives. So
definitely.
Thank you for doing your part, and we're grateful for you. So, I'll turn it back over to MintyKid.
Well, once again, I'd like to thank you for being on the show today. And guys, always make sure you follow Kamikaze Cosplay on her Facebook page, and you can find her on her social medias that she has referred to before. And don't forget to email her, and also don't forget to follow us on our Facebook page on Let's Talk Weekly. You can also find us on WordPress and also on Twitter. We'll be there. You can chat with us there anytime. Thank you, and have a great night, guys. Love you.
Thanks for having me, guys.